Hi there. My name is Juji. Welcome to my channel. This is a space for everyone and anyone who's interested in exploring self-development and relationships through the human design system. Well, guys, normally I do videos on this channel about celebrities and their charts, and most of the time it's focused on relationships. So I do chart overlays. And while I absolutely adore doing that, I wanted to take a moment and talk to you about something that I recently posted about on Instagram, and I got a lot of really amazing feedback. So I thought I'd make a video about it. The subject of this post was spirituality, because I wanted to clarify human design's role in the spiritual esoteric world. In the human design world, we don't talk a lot about spirituality, and I think that mostly that's because human design has its own language, and it has a very unusual way that it came into the world and an even more unusual messenger. So I thought I'd talk a little bit today about what makes human design a very potent and really amazing spiritual practice, because I believe that it's actually the mechanics of awakening. So let's take a closer look and discuss some of the points that I made. And I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this in the comments when you're finished with the video. So the first thing I talked about is that, in fact, the way human design was delivered to the world is very unusual. It came through a man named Ra Uru Hu, who was living feral on Ibiza. It happened in 1987. And basically, this wasn't channeled information. It was placed in him by what he called the forces, or the voice. And he wasn't really a willing participant in any of this. And he became a very reluctant messenger. He wasn't really going to teach human design, but people wouldn't leave him alone. So finally, he wrote everything down that he was given, and then he started teaching it first in Vienna, and then in Taos, New Mexico, and then all over the world. So my teacher was one of the original students of Ra, and I've been lucky enough to have a lot of access to the things that he put down and the lectures that he gave. And what I've come to understand is that Ra was a flawed human being. This information had to come through somebody, but it's limited by the person that it was transmitted by. This was a gift to us from what I guess we could call the Akashic Records. And it's a way for humanity to move forward in these really uncertain times. And when I say uncertain times, what I mean is that according to human design, in the year 2027, there's going to be a big frequency shift here on Earth. And because of this shift, a lot of the old patterns, a lot of the old systems are sort of starting to fall apart. I'm sure you've noticed that. And human design is a way of finding your own spiritual path. It's a way of tapping into your own inner wisdom, and it shows you exactly where to find it, how to tune into it, and how to experiment with it, because we're going to need to be able to trust ourselves in this future that hasn't even happened yet. And it's not really a coincidence either that human design really took off in the year 2020. Ra had talked about how there were going to be pandemics, and his students at the time didn't really know what he was talking about or what that would look like. But nobody was really surprised in the human design community when COVID hit, because we were all already aware that it's the last 7-year cycle before the 2027 shift. So of course, that would be the year that we were all made to pause. And a lot of people's eyes were open and they met human design because there was so much about it being spread all over the internet. So 2020 was really about people tapping into a deeper spiritual experience. And a lot of the time, people started questioning their soul's purpose here on earth. Because we were made to pause and because we were able to step outside of the rat race for a moment, we wanted to really see, like, was this really all there was, or is there more to life? And human design actually gives us the map of our soul. It is made up of both the personality and the design crystals of consciousness, and it gives us our purpose here on earth, our purpose that goes far beyond like checking the boxes and the 9 to 5 and the ambition and our perception of success and all of that. So deconditioning, which is what human design is here for, is letting go of everything that doesn't align to this map. And it gives you a permission to follow what it is that you actually are lit up by. And it gives you permission to step into your role. Another thing that people started to question a lot in 2020 is their relationships. And the spiritual realm talks a lot about soul contracts and the agreements that we made as souls to come down here on earth and like play out these different mechanics. And human design helps us understand and realign to our destiny so we can actually meet the people who are correct for us in our lifetime, and the people who are not necessarily part of our soul contracts, they just kind of fell away. And there's nothing wrong or bad about that. That's actually what human design says. There are people who you are here to be with in this life. And when you are mechanically correct, remember, human design is the mechanics of awakening. When you are living according to strategy and authority, the people and the things that are meant for you will simply manifest in your life. And speaking of manifestation, New Age spirituality loves talking about the laws of attraction and manifesting happiness. And a lot of the gurus out there claim that they can help you to obtain anything that you want by helping you change your thoughts. But really, when you look deeper, it's about detaching from the wanting. It's about letting go of your need to control what you think that you want. Human design shows us, as a matter of fact, that our minds are not here to run the show, that you have a built-in GPS mechanism that is here to help guide your decisions. And again, when you make correct decisions as yourself that are aligned to your soul's purpose, everything that you need will show up for you. In human design, we call this passenger consciousness. It's about being a passenger in this vehicle, not the driver. It's about watching your life through the window instead of trying to control it. We also say it's like watching a movie. You're here to be riveted and excited to see what happens next, not to dwell in the past or project into a future that doesn't exist yet. You're here to really be in the now, be in the moment, and enjoy everything that's unfolding in front of you. Sometimes in the spiritual realm, we call this gratitude. And they say that if you have enough gratitude, you will become enlightened. But I consider this a fairly vague and unattainable destination. There hasn't really been a concrete method to enlightenment. A lot of people say that they know the path, like lots and lots of meditation or penance or living a simple life, whatever that means. But whether you're seeking God or nirvana or whatever you want to call it, most spirituality boils down to one thing. You are the answer. You are perfect. You are source. Everything is connected. Life is all connected. Everything you need is already inside of you. Human design is just a return to yourself. Again, it's a permission engine because you are already perfect exactly the way you are. And that's really what this comes down to, is that human design gives us the opportunity to see ourselves without judgment. And when you can stop judging yourself and shaming yourself, and you can start cultivating an inner harmony and surrendering to your life, you may actually fall deeply in love with yourself. That's really the aim of this system. And when you love yourself, when you can honor yourself, when you can fill your own cup, you can also develop a lot of empathy and love for everybody around you. You may even start to see the eternal beauty in the world. Everything just starts to become easier and more in flow. And then you can just enjoy what we call this magnificent divine comedy here on earth. And know that, it's a finite amount of time, so you might as well enjoy the ride. I actually hesitated in calling myself a spiritual person for a long time because human design doesn't really talk about that. It's just about living correctly. But I see now that connecting with nature, connecting with people, connecting to the divine, it's all about your own personal relationship to it. It doesn't have to look like everybody else's. And that's really what I love so much about this system. All right, guys, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it was a little bit of a departure, but I think I'm going to start doing more videos like this. Let me know if that sounds good to you by giving it a thumbs up. And of course, comment below if you have any questions, if you have any comments. Also, please subscribe to my channel if you want to get notified every time I release a new video. You can also find me on Instagram and on my website, which I will drop in the show notes. There you can see I offer human design readings, a relationship mentorship program, and a community for conscious women called the Beehive. Until next time, ciao for now.